The Informer Media Group can now authoritatively reveal that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission (EACC) is on a warpath with Water, Irrigation and Sanitation Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome for shielding the Earthy Water Works Development Agency AWWDA engineer Michael Thuita from 25 billion shilling graft probe involving construction of 3 dams where he is adversely mentioned in alleged procurement malpractices. In a debacle that manifests 2 government institutions working in cross purposes, when EACC requested the Water CS to suspend Thuita to facilitate the probe, the CS defied the notice and instead demanded to be furnished with the complaint file or complaint filed to enable her heed to the anti-graft body demand. According to the anti-graft body, Thuita is adversely mentioned in tendering irregularities in the 24 billion shilling Ruiru Dam 2 project, Karimenu, and the Kitui Matu water projects, respectively. Our investigations have established that EACC CEO Thuita made the turn-down request on May 24, 2023, and the CS responded in a record 7 days, May 31, 2023. Thuita told CS Wahome that the Commission is undertaking the investigations on procurement irregularities in the award of tender for the construction of Ruiru 2, Karimenu, and Kitui Matu water projects that were undertaken by the Earthy Water Works Development Agency, where the Chief Executive Officer Engineer Michael M. Thuita has been adversely mentioned. The CEO, being the accounting officer of the agency, was involved in the implementation of these 3 projects. Therefore, there is a likelihood that his being in office will interfere with the smooth provision of documents and persons who may be called upon as witnesses. EACC want Thuita out of office to deter possible interference with the investigation. According to Regulation 25 of 2 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, one can be suspended from office if he or she is likely to conceal, alter, destroy, remove records, documents or evidence, is likely to intimidate, threaten or otherwise interfere with witnesses or interfere with investigations in any other manner. The letter to CS Wahome adds in part, further, Regulation 25 of 3 of LIA provides that an officer under suspension shall be on half pay pending investigations and determination of the allegations made against the officer. At the time the suspension request against Thuita was made, we established that the AWWDA CEO was out of the country. Thuita told the CS via letter reference number EACC.6/8/5, Volume 4 of 39, dated May 24, 2023, that Section 47 of 2 of Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 states that subject to the Constitution and any regulations for enforcement of the Code of Conduct, a state or public officer may be suspended from office pending the investigation and determination of allegations made against that state or public officer where such suspension is considered necessary. To this end, based on the reasons stated, it is advised that you consider invoking the above-cited provisions and take administrative action against the CEO to pave way for the investigations. Kindly appraise the Commission on the action taken. In response, CS Wahome cited inadequate basis to justify the suspension request against Thuita and the alleged crimes. The rejoinder by CS Wahome to Thuita reads in part, the subject matter should be investigations into procurement illegalities in the award of tender of the projects mentioned in your said letter and not suspension as referenced above. To enable me to consider the recommended action of suspension of the officer alleged to have been involved in the irregularities, kindly let me have the letter of complaint or the complaint file. CS Wahome did not respond to phone calls and messages sent to her when contacted by the Informer Media Group for comment over the matter. Late last month, while announcing the government plans to lay off over 200 employees working on contract basis at Kenya Medical Supplies Authority (KEMSA) beginning July 1, 2023, Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service Felix Koskei warned public officers and civil servants against engaging in corrupt practices, saying that conflict of interest, wastage of public resources, and abuse of power will not be tolerated in the public service. He affirmed after touring the KEMSA ultra-modern warehouse in Embakasi, Nairobi, where he met the authority's management and employees, saying, "We are not going to entertain corruption in government." Present were Principal Secretary State Department of Medical Services Harry Kimtai, KEMSA Board Chairman Irungu Nyakera, and Acting Chief Executive Officer Andrew Mulwa.
All of us know that this organization has suffered the unnecessary disrepute of grand corruption and tainted the overall image of the government, both past and present. I have noted that from 1st July, the contracts of 200 staff members rendered redundant will not be renewed as the organization adopts a designed, performance and service-oriented organizational structure.